What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Chuds BBQ. My name is Bradley Robinson, and today I'm going to show you how I made these beautiful, delicious, smoky, homemade, oh so cheesy, smoked Juicy Lucy cheeseburgers. Coming up. This is some meat. Ooh. Pat it dry. This is a USDA prime chuck roast. Picked this up at my local HEB. We're just gonna cut it up so it fits into our meat grinder a little bit easier. And you can use whatever meat you want for making burgers. Brisket is a great choice. Brisket and chuck, brisket and sirloin, just sirloin, whatever you can find really. As long as it's got a good fat content to it, you're gonna be a-okay. In a perfect world, you could weigh out your meat and fat trimmings and really dial in a perfect 80-20 or 70-30 or whatever you're after. But today we're just gonna hope for the best. Chuck roast usually works out pretty well to have a nice meat to fat ratio for burgers. And this one's looking nice and fatty. So, just getting this cubed up just like sausage making. That way when we pop this in the freezer, these little chunks will firm up a lot quicker because we want this meat nice and cold when we put it through the grinder so we get a nice, consistent, clean grind without any fat smearing, because that will overwork the meat. Looking good to me. Into the freezer we go. Now that our meat is sufficiently chilled, through the grinder we go. I'm going through the small millimeter die today. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. Only grinding through once today. That's because chuck is a little more tender than other cuts. If you're using brisket or short rib or something like that, I would suggest using the large die on the meat grinder and running it through twice. But for chuck, I have found that running it through the small die, single pass, works great. What I'm doing now is portioning these out into 4-ounce balls. That way we can make ourselves Meatball Mountain. Next up, we form them up using this burger press that conveniently has a 1/4 pound and a 1/2 pound side. Starting on the 1/4 pound, patty wax down, meatball on top. Nothing to it. When it comes to cheese for a Juicy Lucy, American cheese is the obvious choice. It's got the best meltability, and that's really what you're after with a Juicy Lucy. When you cut it in half or when you bite into it, you want that cheese to be nice and flowy and melty, and no other cheese will do. But I know some people out there don't like American cheese because there's a whole bunch of really bad American cheese. I'm pretty sure legally it has to be at least 51% cheese to be called cheese, and any less than that is called a cheese product. So that being said, today we're gonna make our own American cheese using some Tillamook sharp cheddar. And to see how I made that, let's go back in time to last night. This is some cheese. This is some Tillamook sharp cheddar that I cold smoked last night. I did the same exact process I did in my smoked mac and cheese episode where I took these, I popped them on a wire rack, tell by these lines here, and I got the smoker as smoky as possible while keeping the temperatures as low as possible. And it was thunderstorming and raining and lightning last night, which is why I didn't film any of it. But all that rain helped keep the smoker at a nice cold temperature. So, beautiful smoked cheese. Not all that dark, but trust me, it smells nice and smoky. So now all we need to do is shred this up. In my food processor here, I've got the old cheese shredder attachment, which is just gonna make really quick work of all of this. Beautiful. To turn this cheddar cheese into American cheese, into this pot we're gonna start out with some butter. Once melted, we're gonna go in with our sodium citrate. This is salt that is derived from citrus fruits and acts as a beautiful emulsifier, which is the main difference between American cheese and cheddar cheese or any other cheese that'll kind of split apart into oils and solids when it melts. And it's what's gonna give it that really nice, gooey, melty quality, which is exactly what we want for a Juicy Lucy. And we're also gonna go in with some sodium hexametaphosphate. This is another salt that is more of a stabilizer than anything else, and that's really gonna make it so we can get some nice slices out of this cheese, and it just firms up a little bit more than something like a Velveeta where it's really soft. Once those are nicely dissolved, we're gonna go in with our liquid, which today is some milk. Beer would work, cream would work, water would work, but we're melting cheese, so I figure milk is a good choice. And once nice and bubbly, we're gonna go in with our cheese. Start out with half first. I'm just gonna get that all nice and mixed in and get it all melted down. Looking good. In with the rest. And of course, I'll have all the exact amounts and ingredients down in the description box below. And after just a few minutes of warming, ooh, we've got ourselves a beautiful gooey cheese sauce. At this point, we've made an absolutely fantastic smoky queso. But just to make sure that everything is nice and smooth, I'm gonna hit it with the old immersion blender real quick. Pour it into a mold. Oh, look at that. So silky, so beautiful. It's like a cheese commercial. Love it. Into the fridge these go for the next hour or so. Mine are probably gonna go overnight, and then in the morning we will have some beautiful set American cheese ready to be sliced. Once fully solidified, this is what we're left with. And there we go, 2 big blocks of homemade smoked sharp cheddar American cheese. And to slice it up, I've got this little nifty wire cheese cutter. Boo. Look at that, nice little slice, little Chud single. I tell you what, making your own American cheese is a lot of fun because you can do this process with pretty much any kind of cheese you like. Looking good. Beautiful stuff. That's why I made a whole big batch of it, because I love having this stuff around, especially because it's round. It just melts on a burger perfectly. So what I'm gonna do now is take a little ring mold here and punch out. Oh good, I thought they were all gonna fuse together for a minute there. So if we got our patty here, a nice gooey center, that should fill out this burger nicely. And the beauty of that burger press is it's already put a nice little dimple in there for us. So then we're gonna lay on our cheese. Then we take another patty and we go on top, because we're making thick boys today, half-pound burgers. Pop it on the half-pound side of our press here, and theoretically, this should push together to make the perfect Juicy Lucy. And there we have it, the perfect burger. Lovely shape. We got the patty wax on there to keep it from oxidizing in the fridge. Nice little dimple on top as well. Now all we gotta do is make a few more. We're gonna go cheese heavy on this guy. Beautiful. Look how perfect that is. Big fan of that. All right, into the fridge these go. Well, we move on to the next step, which is buns. Starting with some warm milk going in, followed by our yeast and our sugar. Next up, going in with our eggs, our salt. Get that all nice and mixed up. Start going in with our flour. I'm also going in with some dough conditioner. This is what they use in commercial breads to get them extra light and extra fluffy. And that's kind of what we're after today. So, going in with that as well. Once it's come together a bit, we're also gonna go in with some softened butter. Now let it knead for 3 to 5 minutes. Beautiful looking dough. Into a grease bowl this goes to double in size for about an hour. While we wait for our dough to rise, let's go ahead and bust out a real quick burger sauce. And if you've seen me make any mayo-based sauce on this channel before, you know I'm a big fan of making my own mayonnaise. So, first up, we need a container, followed by 1 egg, some freshly squeezed lemon juice, and a tablespoon or 2 of some Dijon mustard. And on top of that, we're gonna go in with 1 cup of some neutral oil. And then in we go with our immersion blender. Nothing to it, folks. Let it sit on the bottom for just a minute, and then you can start kind of lifting it up and getting everything evenly incorporated. And there you have it, some beautiful, thick, homemade mayonnaise that took maybe 3 minutes to make. And to turn this into burger sauce, we just need to add the rest of our ingredients. Starting with a nice shot of some ketchup, a nice squirt of some yellow mustard, a dash of some Worcestershire sauce, some pickle juice, little squirt of sriracha, pinch of salt, because we did not season the mayonnaise yet, a nice pinch of some granulated garlic, as well as some 16 mesh black pepper. And we mix. Be sure to taste it for seasoning, and our burger sauce is done. Looking nice and plump. Ooh, beautiful looking dough. Now what we need to do is break this down into individual balls for our buns. Aiming for some dough balls around 100 grams each. Next up, just take all the corners and fold them underneath. Pinch side down on the table. Give it the old hand roll, tucking everything together, and we should be left with a beautiful, nice, smooth-topped little dough ball. Then onto a greased Silpat lined baking sheet these go to rise one more time for about 30-45 minutes, and we'll check back in. Looking nice and puffed. Next up, we're gonna hit these with a bit of an egg wash. Sesame seeds, untoasted sesame seeds, folks, because these are gonna get toasted in the oven. Speaking of which, it is preheated to 375 degrees, and in these go for about 15-20 minutes until they are looking beautiful. Fresh out of the oven, we're gonna hit these with some melted butter. Help soften up the exterior a little bit, and obviously add some wonderful flavor. Come on, tell me those don't look amazing. Anywho, let's fire up the pit. There is a juicy little snake in my boot. For our rub today, I'm going to be treating this burger with a very pepper-heavy brisket-style rub. 2-part 16 mesh black pepper, which you can pick up on my website, as well as 1 part diamond crystal kosher salt and 1/2 part granulated garlic. Oh yeah, just get that all nice and mixed up. Ooh, these are some nice plump looking burgers. Nice and red too. Gotta love that freshly ground beef. Gonna go on with a nice healthy application of our rub. And please folks, don't forget the sides. Come on. Got this pit rocking around 250, 275. And on we go with these beautiful big old Juicy Lucy burgers. Just let those smoke away for the next little bit. And just like that, about 45 minutes later, these burgers are coming off the pit, looking nice and smoky and nice and juicy. These are temping around 135, 140 degrees internal. And I'm not really aiming for medium rare on these because we want to make sure that cheese is nice and melty. So now all we need to do is give these a nice hard sear. onto this screaming hot tortilla press we go. Ooh, yes. Love it. Oh, it smells so good out here. Won't take long, folks. Not when you're going this hot. Nice sizzle. Off they come. Must say, it's been a long time since I've cooked a burger without putting a piece of cheese on top. But let's get everything else ready. Telling you what, folks, if you have an oven, you need to make these buns at least once. They are just absolutely beautiful. Hit these with a little bit of melted butter and get that toasted off. Beautiful. Next up goes on our beautiful burger sauce. Both sides, folks. Then some of our onions. I was gonna do some sauteed onions, but all I had in the house was a single red onion. And I said, you know what? That'll do just fine. I like a good red onion. Looks nice on a burger too. Then our beautiful patty. Oh, what a fit. And then we're gonna top this off with some house-made pickles. Made these a couple vids back. Actually, I think it was the chicken sandwich video. Very simple burger, folks, but that's really all you need. Tell you what, it's always a good day when it's burger day here at the Chud house, folks. There we have it, 3 beautiful, smoky, juicy Lucy's. I gotta say, that is quite a magnificent looking burger. Let's see if it lives up to its name. Whoa. Oh, come on, folks. Would you just look at that? Oh, that's so good. Gotta say, folks, that really is a sight of beauty. Oh, it's so gooey, so cheesy, and smoky. All right, I need to see how this came out. Well, can confirm that the homemade smoked American cheese is nice and melty. All right, let's go for it. Oh my God. That is ridiculous. It's so good. Lives up to the name. Nice and juicy. Smoky, but not in an overpowering way. Freshly baked bun. Tell me you don't want to take a bite of this right now. Oh. That is phenomenal. Nice and juicy. That is so good. It's so simple, but works so well. Let's get another gooey cross section, shall we? Oh, come on, folks. That's just not even fair. So gooey. And the fact that the cheese is actually nice and sharp cheddar and it's got some smoke on it, nothing wrong with that. I know I say this in a lot of videos, but I don't know why I don't do this more often. It's so simple and it's so good. Perfect for a dinner party too if you want to wow some folks. Big, thick, juicy burger stuffed with cheese. Tell me you made your own American cheese and you made the buns. Top that with a little house-made mayo. They'll think you're super cool. It's so good. So good. Perfectly seasoned. Got a little smoke ring on the patty itself. And just look how oozy and gooey that cheese is. Come on, folks. So good. Oh God. Gooey. Here you go. Choose your favorite.
Oh my God.
Cheesy.
Good Lord. Yeah, it's good though.
Oh.
It looks like queso.
Yeah, it pretty much is. Mix some brisket into your queso, put some rotel in there, or a pimento cheese, Juicy Lucy. That sounds good.
A gut buster.
Yeah, it's not light.
Oh my God, just the height you got.
Yeah, they look huge, but like after you take a couple of bites, they squish down nicely.
Oh yeah.
Well, gotta say, that is a very good cheeseburger. But don't take my word for it, because you know what time it is?
Official taste test time.
That's it. Will you fetch the beast? All right, now you get the big one.
Absolute. Oh God. Jesus.
All right, y'all, that is it. That is how to make some absolutely amazing smoked Juicy Lucy cheeseburgers. I highly recommend giving this one a try. That was absolutely fantastic. And you don't have to grind your own meat, smoke your own cheese, make your own American cheese, make your own beautiful buns, make mayonnaise from scratch, make your own pickles. But it'll be a whole lot better if you do, and you'll have a lot more fun doing it. But either way, you should still make yourself a Juicy Lucy because you probably haven't had one in a while, and they are absolutely delicious. But that being said, if you enjoyed this video, let me know by hitting that subscribe button. Let YouTube know by dropping a like on this video. Feel free to drop a comment down below letting me know what you want to see me cook next. If you give this recipe a try for yourself, be sure to tag me on Instagram at Chuds BBQ. I'd love to see what y'all are cooking. Big shout out to all the Patreon members. Thank you for supporting Team Chud and allowing me to keep making all these videos. And until the next time I see you, please go cook something outside. Peace. Pop is full.